welcome to your January 2017 general forecast with moi. Thank you so much for tuning in. Big happy new year to everybody. It's 2017. When you add that all together, it's a number 1 year. So it's time to get some things started. So before we get started on your horoscope, I just wanted to remind you that this is very general for all of the signs that were born under a certain sign, whether by the sun, the moon, or your rising sign. And if you don't know what your rising sign or your moon sign are, then there's a link that I have below to where you can go to a website and find all of that information out. Especially if you have your birth time, then you can know what your rising sign is. But definitely check out your horoscope for all three every single month. The rising sign will be the most accurate, then the sun, then the moon. So check them out. And don't forget, if you would like a personal forecast that is just for you, boo-boo, under your birth time, your birth date, your place of birth, all that stuff, just exactly catered to you, go to my website, which is indigomoonastrology.com, and we can get a reading scheduled, all right? So now on to your general January forecast. Hey, what's up, Aquarius? So this is my lovely board. It's back again so I can show you your monthly forecast for January 2016. Happy New Year and happy birthday to some of my January born Aquarians. So first, we're going to talk about the position of the sun this month. So we start out with it still being in Capricorn, where it's been since about the 21st, 22nd of December. And wherever the sun travels, it illuminates and highlights that area of life for you, brings it to your attention more, but also it's an area where you have an opportunity to shine out to the world a little bit more as well. So for you guys, it's in Capricorn, which is your 12th house. So the 12th house is like you being asleep before you wake up, okay? Because the first house is you. This is your sign, Aquarius. The sign before you is a time for reflection on the whole other, like this last cycle, 12-month cycle, okay? It's really a time of reflecting upon all of this stuff before we get to Aquarius season, when you're like, bing, hey, it's my time, I'm here, you know. So really it's a time to relax a little bit, to go under the radar, to not really be out there shining out into the world. It's kind of like the sun is dunked underwater, deep water, and like fizzles out and it's floating down there like, hey, I don't really know what's going on. I think I'm just gonna sleep or I'm just gonna daydream or whatever. So your vitality may be a bit decreased, just being honest, while the sun is there. Now, the sun comes in a conjunction with Pluto on the 7th. Pluto is the energy of a very deep soul diver. And this is in your 12th house of dreams. That means literal dreams, like the dreams you have when you're asleep. Because remember, this is you being asleep before you wake up when it's Aquarius season, okay? So, Pluto is a very powerful and psychic, a planet that rules some psychic energy. One of them rules psychic energy. And this is a very psychic house. This can mean you having really profound messages come to you while you are asleep. Messages from the beyond, you know, if you believe in that sort of thing. Messages from the unseen world, from the spirit world. So really pay attention to your dreams this month, especially around the 7th. You can have some really powerful revelations brought to you, because this is also a house of things that are hidden away. So Pluto digs things up. So some secrets may be dug up, Aquarius. You may uncover some really important information that was previously hidden from you. So really pay attention to that around the 7th. So on the 3rd, Venus, the planet of love, relationships, and enjoyment, moved into Pisces. Venus rules also enjoyment of life through the 5 senses, the experience of being a physical being here on Earth. So for you guys, Pisces is your 2nd house. And this is your earned income, okay? And this is also the material world as well. It rules similar things to Venus. So this is enjoying life a little bit more in the physical sense, in the material sense. So you may feel like going shopping a little bit more and just buying material things that bring you great joy. You can actually have an opportunity to earn more money, because Venus rules money as well. And Venus like softens things up, sweetens things up, makes things a little bit more enjoyable and favorable wherever she transits. So for you guys, it's in your house of earned income. So maybe an opportunity to earn some more money or earn money doing something creative, because Venus does rule creativity. Venus does rule relationships too. And Venus actually will come into a conjunction with the South Node. And this happens on the 7th of January. So if you look at the symbol for the South Node, it looks like a magnet. And that magnet is pulling things down in a downward direction. That can mean pulling things back. So the South Node represents the past in a way. If you're a believer in past lives, it can represent that. It represents karma as well. So just in general for everyone, with Venus coming into this conjunction, we may all experience some form of, past karmic relationship themes coming up for us, whether it's exes coming back to contact you and resolve some old karma, or you just getting into a relationship with someone and feeling like it's a very karmic relationship and it's like a soulmate type of thing. That can happen. Now, for you guys in particular, since this is your second house of money and possessions, it doesn't really totally affect you in the relationship sense. It's more like you may have an opportunity to heal something when it comes to feeling worthy. Whether that is feeling worthy, like just with yourself and your personality, or by, some people base their worthiness on the material world, on the type of possessions that they own, on the amount of money that they make. So this can be like a letting go of those type of ideals that are not good for you and that are actually holding you back. So that is around the 7th. Also on the 12th, Venus will come into a conjunction with Neptune in your second house. So, ooh, girl, Venus, don't be jumping around like that. Anyway, so Neptune, it's the ruling planet of Pisces. It gives Pisces its characteristics and qualities, the good and the bad. The good qualities are humanitarianism, really being caring and compassionate and spiritual and creative. And the negative are losing touch with reality, dissolvement of boundaries between yourself and other people and other things, and unhealthy escapism. So with this happening, a conjunction happening in your second house of the material world, I would say be very careful with your material possessions around this time. Be careful to not lose things. Be careful to protect your material possessions from theft, especially because Neptune does rule theft, losing things. So just be very careful with that energy around the 12th. This is actually happening like as soon as Venus moves into the sign of Pisces, she will be in contact with Neptune. They will be in a conversation. It just gets a little more heated and more close around the 12th, and then it starts fading off. So this whole, pretty much the first few weeks of the month, be very careful with your, hello autofocus, be very careful with your material possessions and money. I would say this is not a good month for you guys to take a risk with gambling or anything like that, Aquarius, because you can have monetary losses a lot more easier than other signs. Now also Venus will come into a conversation with Chiron, the asteroid that's nicknamed the Wounded Healer, towards the end of the month, like around the 26th or so. So Chiron, wherever it is transiting for you and wherever it is in your birth chart, is kind of an area where themes keep coming back up again, revolving around maybe some emotional pain or trauma, or it's kind of like a band-aid that you've put over a wound and it gets ripped off from time to time and you have to put more ointment on it to heal it, okay? So with Venus coming in contact with Chiron in your second house, some issues of self-worth and valuing yourself can come up. But once again, same with the South Node, there's an opportunity to heal from any of those ideals that may be negative in regards to how you value yourself and letting other people take advantage of you. That's another thing with Neptune being here in your second house. Some Aquarians, you guys are pretty fixed and pretty strong-minded individuals, just generally speaking about your energy. But with Neptune in your second house, there can be issues sometimes with you giving yourself away too easily, giving away your time, your money, your love, your body, anything too easily. So an opportunity to heal from that stuff is definitely coming up for you in January. Now on the 12th, well actually first on the 4th, Mercury is going to change signs very briefly. So Mercury has been in the sign of Capricorn the whole month of December and during the first few days of January. That is your 12th house. The murky, watery, deep 12th house of going back over things of the past and just kind of chilling out from the rest of the world and not really worried about the material world and kind of having a brain fog pretty much. So that's what's been going on for you guys. And then Mercury goes back into Sagittarius, which is our 11th house, on the 4th, and it's there until the 12th. So that's an opportunity to go back over any issues regarding friendships or groups that may have come up. You may have had a focus on those things at the end of November. That's the last time Mercury was in Sag in that same spot. And then Saturn, the great giver of lessons, and also your co-ruling planet is in the 11th house too. So Mercury will be there. So there may be some lessons that come up again regarding friendships and groups. And then once Mercury goes direct on the 8th, it'll then move on the 12th back into Capricorn. So now the 12th house, like I said, is kind of a brain fog house, especially for Mercury that rules the mind being there. But once it goes direct, actually it'll go direct on the 8th and then it'll be out of its shadow period on the 22nd. Okay, so once it's fully direct, no longer in shadow, then the brain fog, it may clear up some. The memories that may have been coming back to you this last month or so. So you may have had a lot of memories coming back to you in this last month. Memories of the past and things that you need to go over. And then once Mercury moves direct, you know, it may be a time where you can reflect still, but move on from those memories. Now, on the 12th, we have a full moon in the sign of Cancer. So full moons are when the sun and the moon oppose one another, and they have a very tense conversation that leads to a breaking point and a final decision. So they're both in opposite signs. So the moon is in Cancer, very sensitive Cancer, and the moon also rules Cancer. And for you guys, that is your 6th house. The 6th house rules your health. It rules your, oops, sorry, my big old mug in the camera. The 6th house rules your health. It rules the job duties that you do and your work environment. And then the sun is here in your 12th house, which is the opposite. It's kind of chilling out, taking time away from the world, not worrying about the working world and going to work. It's sleeping. It's, you know, like I said, chilling and relaxing, reflecting back on life and just doing your own thing, floating in your own time zone pretty much. So there's like a conversation here that's coming to a breaking point. This is also spiritual health and mental health and physical health. Okay, so some issue may come up with your health, Aquarius. So I would say be very careful with your health. Now, because of energy in your 12th house, which kind of depletes your vitality, I know some Aquarius risings that are, they're sick. They're under the weather right now. They keep, you know, catching colds and sinus issues, which the 12th house, it's a watery house, so it can cause some of that when there's transits there. And like I said, it depletes your vitality a little bit, so you're more susceptible to getting sick. So this can be a breaking point that tells you need to slow down from maybe working too much and you need to take care of your physical health, or maybe you need to relax and release and let go of some old memories, old things that are bothering you, old things that are stored away in your heart. You just need to release them for good so that your physical health can be a lot better as well. For some of my Aquarians, if it doesn't revolve around health, this can be a new job opportunity coming up for you, or some changes within the workplace and the work environment. So that's the full moon on the 12th. Now on the 19th, we have the sun moving from Capricorn in your 12th house into Aquarius. Hey, the sun is in your sign. Woo, woo, woo. Party time. Excellent. So your vitality is increased when the sun comes into your sign. This is time to shine. This is showtime for Aquariuses, okay? You guys already had Venus and Mars in your sign in December, so it could have been showtime then for certain things, but the sun is like bigger and brighter and really shines. So if you're trying to get a promotion, if you're trying to get noticed, this is going to be the time when the sun goes in your sign. This is like the feeling of being reborn. It's like back here, you're like, oh, this is like old age, chilling. You're at the end of life. You're like, oh, just barely hanging on. Then you're reborn, shiny and new when the sun goes into your sign. So this is an opportunity to go back and fix your health if you've had any health issues this month, Aquarius, to get back in shape, to get that diet going. Maybe the full moon here is telling you need to change your diet. So you start a diet, then when the sun goes into your sign, that's the time to really feel good physically, okay? And also feel good enough and confident enough to go after some of your goals, especially when it comes to job and career, and actually anywhere in life, okay? Now, on the 27th, we're going to have a new moon in your sign in Aquarius. So this is a new beginning for you guys anywhere in life. It is your sign. You know, a new moon in your sign, especially if your birthday is around the 27th, it really affects you as far as having a new beginning. And a lot of people count, you know, the Gregorian calendar, January 1st, as being a brand new year, which numerically, yes, and in numerology, it can give off a vibration of newness coming into a new year. However, I'm a firm believer as an astrologer that when the sun comes back around to your sign, that is quote unquote birthday time, okay, aka birthday. That is your personal new year. That is your time to shine. That is when you can start taking action towards goals and really, really just getting active and accomplishing a lot of great things, and just feeling like full of life, more full of life, and like new beginnings. Especially if there's a new moon in your sign or around your birthday, that is definitely a great time to start some new beginnings. So if you weren't feeling great enough around the beginning of January to start your New Year's resolutions as far as health and fitness and appearance, fear not, Aquarians, because this new moon in your sign can definitely bring some of those great changes ahead for you. Now, lastly, we're going to talk about Mars. Mars has been in Pisces since the end of December. And Mars is a planet of action and drive and aggression and initiative and impatience and it can be impulsive at times. So Mars has been in Pisces, which is none of those things, actually. It's like Mars is a hot fireball and then he gets dunked underwater as well. He kind of fizzles a little bit and he's not really as active. He's just kind of like more of a spiritual warrior and like a hippie. And if he does fight against anything, it's just like, hey man, just leave them alone, man. You know, it's kind of like Michael Jackson. Like, I think I may have said that last month too. I'm a lover, not a fighter. That's Mars in Pisces. For you guys, this has been in your second house of earned income while it's been in Pisces. So you could have been really going after that money. I mean, really going after that money, like chasing that money. Or you could have been burning through it and spending a lot of it too, Aquarius. So Mars will move into the sign of Aries on the 28th. And that is your third house. That's the house of the mind, okay? So your mind is going to be more active, which Mars is action. It's going to be more action-oriented. This paired with the sun in your first house, definitely a great time at the end of the month for my Aquarians to really, really just get out there and really go after some great things that you want to do and to get physically active. This is a house of the mind, so your mind can be a little bit more restless. And also this is a house of siblings, and Mars can rule conflicts. So conflicts with siblings can arise for some of you, but not all of you. So just be mindful of that. But also, this is like the Tasmanian devil house, I like to call it. Being super busy, speeding around everywhere, whizzing around. So you may feel super restless and super active. But once again, that's great for you guys that are focused on your appearance and getting in shape and getting your body right and feeling great around the time the sun goes into your sign and around your birthday. So that was your month of January, Aquarius. I hope it is awesome for you guys and hope you have a great birthday.